Manchester, I'm with your heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall.
Tell me Aspinall, Aspinall, tell me Aspinall. Na 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 na.
No, Diddy, but you're weighing 251 and you got abs, and you're ripped, and you're a heavyweight. I was like, geez Louise, what a specimen, no Diddy.
He's the best finisher in the UFC, and I believe him.
I don't disagree.
I believe him because once he finishes,
I'm still struggling to count how many punches landed in that swarm.
A lot of people think it's an early stoppage.
Be quiet.
I'm here with the new welterweight champion of the world, Belal Muhammad. How good does that sound to hear?
Did exactly like you said. The game plan was Khabib-esque.
Correct.
Effectively.
Correct.
He outstruck Leon. I don't see anyone beyond Shavkat. Although some of the other broadcasters on the internet are making a lot of noise because they don't think the two names match up to headline an event.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
we went left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so
good to go. King's Court MMA, it's your guy Obasogi.
Yes, it's your guy Mardi.
And the come down from UFC 304 many days later is still occurring. I'm still finding myself trying to get back to normal. I'm still waking up with the shakes, thinking that I'm missing a fight and that I'm still in the co-op live. Like, honestly, what a weekend.
It was. The weekend was the whole vibe. It was class. The whole aura around 304. Manchester was popping off.
It was.
We even had a Manchester Day in the middle of the...
Imagine what Manchester Day was on Saturday.
Saturday,
yeah. It was crazy. So, quick recap if you didn't see our movements. We were at the ceremonial weigh-ins on the Friday. On the Thursday, we were at the final presser, the press conference, all at the co-op. On the Saturday, was it Friday night when we were driving around? Yeah, Friday night driving around. We thought, you know what, we're going to go to the Athletes Hotel and just have a mooch and just see who we can bump into.
It about.
And then, as Mardy's point, it was Manchester Day on the Saturday, which meant every single parking space that would have been available was suspended.
Gone.
It was crazy. It was a madness. We were driving around Manchester. I'm surprised the police didn't stop two black young men in a nice car driving around Manchester just doing loops for 90 minutes. We didn't break any speed limits. We didn't break any rules. I'm at traffic lights. I'm like trying to keep up with you. Look to my right, Michael Bisping. I'm like, yo, the Count, godfather of MMA, and no like where the light starts walking towards me. Yo, brother, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, the light's gonna change. It changes. I'm like, gotta go, scoot like that. 50 cent, like 50 cent. But massive love for Mike Bisping for even stopping in his tracks in the middle of Manchester when he's by himself to 100%. Show love to a fan. And I could tell all week he was loving being back in Manchester and loving the love from his kinfolk.
Indeed, he's a man of the people.
100%.
In his own town. He was even in the press conference when he's coming out. He's even getting the Bisping chant started on the way as well. Yeah, he was loving life indeed.
Yeah. And as for the Saturday / Sunday, wow, what a stint we put in. So obviously I've read that Aspinall didn't sleep. Basically, planned to have a nap, ended up being awake for 22 hours straight.
It's crazy.
I'm not far off that. I'm serious. I wasn't even fighting, and I just couldn't. In my head, I'm going to have a nap for 4 to 5 hours. From about 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'll be nice. Didn't happen.
Sleep don't come.
Didn't happen.
Sleep don't come.
Plus, you need to see our recent PFL content, the media conference, speaking to Big Swarms and Dakota.
That's it,
and they're hating on the UK weather.
That's it.
Guys,
glorious.
We're outside in
filming.
30-degree heat at 7:45 in the evening. And I can assure you, it's sunny.
It is. And
the skies are blue. So Big Swarms,
no clouds.
Big Swarms. I think you need to retract those statements because miracles do happen in the UK. But anyway, seamless plug there. It was a madness.
It was.
Like you said, atmosphere was crazy. Fans were fully up for it.
They were.
It was a special weekend.
I think it was, and we were discussing obviously before that going into the fight. I think the fight card was on paper. It was
On Izzy gave it a 9.
It was
in
a
his
top
preview show.
fight card,
Yeah.
and it started off great. There was obviously a few highlights of the fight card. Dana obviously wasn't too best pleased at some of the outcomes, but I think all in all that it was a great card. The Manchester fans showed up. They were loud. When I was actually in the stadium, I was thinking, oh, actually, maybe they're not as loud as they should be. But watching some of the fights back, it's louder than the States and on all of that jazz in Abu Dhabi and whatnot. So I was quite surprised.
Abu Dhabi's not loud.
Is it? Yeah, fair dues. It's a spectator sport there, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, amazing atmosphere. Let's go right to the top of the card. Really, it makes sense, and we got to talk about. We'll get back around to the atmosphere and the people sleeping. Hey, it was a struggle. I don't want to, fight shame anyone, but I think it was just my tiredness. But I can't remember the Gigazi Arnold Allen fight. I think my eyes might have closed for all those 15 minutes. It wasn't a bad fight. I rewatched it. Yeah, but if you tried to speak to me in those 15 minutes, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have got a response. Because when I rewatched the fight, I was like, I don't recall any of this happening. This is all new to me. It's like I was seeing it for the very first time. Yeah. And that was the opener to the main card. So obviously I took that opportunity between the end of the prelims and the main to have a quick nap. But anyway, we move. Shock of the night is obviously the main event.
The new welterweight.
But was it a shock? Because I put, if you're following us on Instagram, I did say I kind of smell an upset.
Yeah, you did.
Because the noise was so one-sided towards Leon.
It's true.
And even the way Leon was talking about he's too slow, he's too small, he just ain't got it. And then the crowd were picked up that narrative and were disrespecting Belal beyond belief.
Completely.
I thought, do you know what? Karma is a bish. Yeah. And I felt something just shifted me 24 hours where I thought, Belal's going to do this.
Yeah, it was strange because you did say it. It's like, hey, it's not, UFC's not, MMA's not scripted.
It's not WWE.
Not scripted, it's true. But I think a lot of the hate as well that Belal got, I think he played into that role as well. He
became the heel.
He became the heel, and he didn't disrespect the Manchester fans in the same breath. But he did what he said he was going to do.
Spot on.
He did.
Spot on.
5 rounds domination, really and truly.
Spiked Leon on the head, which I don't think I realised in the moment.
I didn't.
Until I think after the fight, and then I put my phone on, and then that's just the main highlight. And I'm like, what did that happen? And I think because I was so immersed in the fight, I think shout out to the Co-op Live, because that arena is not just the biggest arena in the UK. It's the best.
It's the best.
Facts. O2 London. Everywhere. Bye. Yeah. We didn't have the best seats, but the viewpoint we had and from the content that we shared, everyone was saying great seats. And I was like,
exactly.
Really?
Exactly. The angles as well that you could see were different angles that were shown on ESPN, were different angles that were shown on TNT. Great venue.
Not a bad seat in the house. Although, one gripe. If you're doing an over 18 show all through the night, serve coffee. Even if it's a $5, I would have spent a $5 on a couple of shots of coffee. Easy, no coffee. Yeah. So I'm gonna feed that back on my feedback form. Maybe leave a Trustpilot review. Wasn't happy about no caffeine.
It's the City folk. That's why. It's the Manchester City folk. So
shocking. But the complete domination by Belal impressed me.
Yeah.
Right. He did exactly like you said. The game plan was Khabib-esque.
Correct.
Effectively.
Correct.
He outstruck Leon. The jab, he was bigging up the jab pre-fight, talking about, I'm going to look like Canelo in there. At the end, he made DC say, not that, because DC was like, yeah, you look good. No, say I look like Canelo. Like, yeah, you look good. No, say. No. I rewatched it. And then for DC to get the mic away from him, he had to go basically like, okay, you look like Canelo.
Wow.
Under duress. But he was looking clean with it.
He did.
The jab was looking nice. The hooks were looking nice. What made me, and I kept calling it, I wasn't sure about Leon's guard when he was under the fence. I know he was on the back foot all night, but he was using that Muay Thai, like kind of cross guard. And every time he did that, I went, uppercut. Yeah. That's all you need to do with that. And every time he put that guard up, Belal was like, okay, I'm just going to give you an uppercut. And he connected every single time.
Like, without fail. It was...
So, credit to Belal, 100%. And I don't want to take anything away from him. But my gosh, Leon looked flat.
He did. He looked flat. And it wasn't just a round or the later rounds he looked flat. It was throughout the fight, and it was interesting because obviously that Paddy doc that you said before,
the behind the scenes, brilliant watch, by the way. If you haven't seen it, I'm happy to plug Paddy's channel, Paddy the Baddy's YouTube channel. He did, like, I think it's about a 19-minute behind the scenes that dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
And his coach Paul Rimmer was saying that actually after seeing that fight, he didn't really, well, he rated Belal's wrestling, but he says if they have a rematch, he thinks Leon could come back and out-grapple him.
Of that one round where Leon did out-grapple him.
It's true. And it's true. It looks like at Salt Lake City, that second Usman fight. Because Leon just didn't offer anything, and it's not really like what we used to see. And we thought at the time it was just obviously Kamaru being Kamaru, which it was a lot of the time, but Leon just wasn't there. It wasn't there. I don't think it wasn't a good showing of Leon. He's got more than that.
But again, was it just Belal's game plan was just too robust for him to basically implement his game plan? And if not implement what should have been a plan A, was there a lack of plan B by him in his corner? Did they, again, and by that, did they kind of underestimate Belal? Did they not weigh him? Were they fully basically just, instead of watching Belal's fight since Leon, were they focused on the fight against Leon? Because Leon was piecing him up in that first fight. Let's be honest. Head kick landed right at the end of the round. And Leon was looking his slick, clean, sharp best against Belal in that first round and before the eye poke. So I feel, and again, in the build-up, in the conversations, when I was hearing all the disrespect about Belal and how I was saying, oh, he hasn't got hands, he hasn't knocked anyone out. To me, he knocked out Sean Brady. The referee jumped in.
He stopped him. He stopped Sean Brady. He did. So people was flying high at that time.
Undefeated, the young lion.
It's true.
They put Belal up for Sean to basically steal his shine. The UFC was set. That was a setup. That's what we call a setup.
Yeah, it was. But that was for me. That was Belal's best performance.
100%
in the UFC.
Yeah,
you know, he did a job against Vicente Luque as well, but I think that was the best one. So actually, going off his past, he's not had many like that. Obviously,
he was fantastic against Gilbert Burns. I don't care what people are saying about Gilbert Burns being injured and being half a man. Belal went out there again and absolutely dominated.
He did. Similar to this. And it is that style. Again, it's that style that Kamaru Usman did maul a lot of people with. To be honest, coming up to the title, it's only after that he started putting it together more and stopping people with his hands and whatnot. But yeah, kudos to Belal. We've got a new welterweight champion of the world in UFC. So I'm excited to see what's next for him. People are talking about Shavkat.
I don't see anyone beyond Shavkat. Although some of the other broadcasters on the internet are making a lot of noise because they don't think the two names match up to headline an event. So they're talking about
That's true.
Again, this isn't WWE. I get it. It's pay-per-view. It's about selling. It's about money, the dollar at the end of the day. So like Usman, people are talking about Usman or Colby because of the two names that they are. Because
Stop Colby. Colby's 0-3 and Belal was quick to shut that down.
Any of them. Yeah. But the noise from other people on YouTube is Shavkat versus Belal. They're not names that will, headline a numbered event and sell tickets.
I
but
agree.
if you put a Belal versus an Usman or a Belal versus a Colby, then you've got a formula there.
I think that's true, and it's funny because people used to say that about Kamaru Usman headlining fights. Masvidal said it about, hey, it's me that's doing the numbers, not yourself. And now people talk about he needs an Usman. I think it's true. I think it is, but I would like to see that fight, and I would rather see that fight with maybe a light heavyweight, a middleweight, or a heavyweight.
So a stacked card, basically.
Yeah, stacked card. Just have two. I want to see that fight. I wouldn't want to put any predictions down now, but I want to see that fight. Yeah.
Fair dues. Next for Leon.
Oh, there's a lot of good matches for Leon.
Me personally, I think he can literally solidify himself as the champion of Great Britain. I want MVP and Ian Gary. No, if he beats, because he wasn't going to fight those two anytime soon whilst he was champion. But now he's been knocked down the pecking order a little bit. Effectively, he can have some fun. So have some fun against an MVP.
That would be a sick fight. Bring it back to the UK.
And then have some fun against Ian Gary, and then you're back in a position for the title shot.
That's true.
Obviously, don't be messing around with Colby and Usman and all those guys you've already lapped. So he needs fresh meat as well, fresh challenges. I don't want to see him versus Usman 4. I don't want to see him. That's what I mean. I don't want to see that. and I don't want to see him versus Kobe again because he absolutely starched Kobe.
Yeah.
Plus, I think Kobe doesn't deserve a title shot, let alone
he
a shot at the former champ.
Yeah.
So for me, have some fun.
Yeah.
Those 2 UK fights would be huge, even if they're not in the UK, if they're in Europe, whatever.
Yeah.
If, for example, they somehow got Ilia Topuria to fight in Spain, Leon over in Spain versus one of them, I'm game. Forget PFL Europe, bit of UFC Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a bit of fun with it. Have a bit of fun with it.
100%. I like that. And I think really and truly,
and I think because he was dominated, one, he's not going to get a rematch. Doesn't deserve it. Didn't have enough defenses to warrant a rematch, unfortunately.
No.
And I genuinely think he's 2 fights away from being back in the picture. Personally,
see, this is what I was just about to say. With Ian Gary getting that win over MVP, and obviously, I think he even moved up 1. I think he did. I think he only needs, if he gets a win over Ian Gary, it puts him straight back into that. Because who else is above him then? Who else is around him? It's Kamaru. You're not fighting Kamaru. It's Colby. If Shavkat fights next, Leon's back in shooting.
Again, depends how close that Shavkat Belal fight is.
True.
Because if it's razor thin or it's a robbery or something like that, and Shavkat ends up with the belt, then they potentially run it again.
No, they wouldn't. They'll do a Strickland Duplessis.
Oh,
that was razor thin, and Strickland didn't get it. And for me, and a lot of people, I want to stop this nonsense about people think they deserve a title shot because a rematch was so close. No, the UFC have done it for many years. They won't just put on a rematch if it's a close fight. They only put on a rematch if it's a close fight and you have done something at that number 1 position. If you've defended, like the Izzy defended for time, Usman defended for time. So yeah, but it makes it exciting. Welterweight's exciting.
Definitely. Yeah. And then I think it was with MMA Junkies, Dave Lavelle, Leon's coach, alluded to Leon having niggles and specifically a back injury that he was dealing with in the final weeks.
That's true. Saying they couldn't do much.
Should they have pulled him out? Well, again, did they think even injured he had enough to beat Belal?
Yeah, I think that's it again, underestimating Belal there. But again, it all comes out after the fight. I just don't think there's any excuses at the moment in time. He obviously said his body felt tired. He had a sleep coach. Even Tom Aspinall was trying to take some tips off Leon and his professional sleep coach and whatnot. So I just think that Leon needs to just wipe that clean off his mind. Get back into it. Maybe take some time off, obviously, get some rest, get back into it. And
I don't think he could. I think he's probably learned the lesson of he can't afford to take too much time off because then he'll be forgotten and be significantly bumped down at pecking order. I think he'll be back this year. I think he has to be.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah.
We're talking like a November.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll be forgotten about, and then everything moves on. Like it's happened to him multiple times before. That's why his slog to the title was so stretching.
Yeah.
He was so unlucky. 3-4 cancelled fights against Hamzat, fight against Tyrone, COVID.
Yeah.
The eye poke. Like, come on, like
it's true.
So many instances.
So maybe you're right. Maybe he does need a couple of wins. So
yeah.
But we'll see how that unfolds.
That was the main. Let's talk about Mr. Gone in 60 Seconds himself. And I'm not talking about Nicolas Cage, bad boy film. I'm talking about...
Show me Aspinall,
Aspinall.
Show me Aspinall. Those chants were going
off.
Wow.
Yeah, Manchester's own.
What a guy.
Absolutely delivered again.
Completely.
Light work.
I personally didn't think it would be as easy as that. I thought he would win, but my word, a jab that dropped Curtis Blades, and then he swarmed. He said he's the best finisher in the UFC, and I believe him.
I don't disagree.
I believe him because once he finishes,
I'm still struggling to count how many punches landed in that swarm. I don't know if it's 10 or 13. They were that quick. No, seriously. First I count when it was in the arena. I was like, 8 or 9's too much.
Yeah.
Then I rewatched the fight. I went, no, that's more 10. Then I rewatched it again. I went, is that 13? Like literally, it was a blur. It was it was like a computer game, Tekken. When you get that massive boost.
Bash them buttons.
Wow.
The guy's serious, man.
Like the speed.
He's so fast.
The speed. And like, I really want to watch the fight in slow motion, to be honest. Because it's only 60 seconds, so like stretch it to 3 minutes perhaps. But I think there's a moment when Curtis is going down and he's like, he sees Tom coming at him. and he's like, I haven't even hit the ground yet, and this guy's like on the move. Because heavyweights are not known to have that speed.
Yeah, it's true.
Like by the time you hit the ground, they start moving.
Exactly.
The guy was like only like that, and Tommy was moving in to kill.
Straight on him.
Honestly, like absolute animal.
I've got no words, really and truly. Like there was a lot of people thinking it's an early stoppage.
Be quiet.
I'm sorry.
I can't. And you know,
rabbit punches.
I've seen the content, and was response to our content, and it's no
crazy.
chance.
It's crazy.
Heavyweight, and the guy's on your back, and he's landing punches. Like people are forgetting the weight. These are not normal sized guys.
These aren't boxing gloves either.
6'3", 6'4" guys. How much did he weigh? 251 pounds. Like you ain't taking him punching you like that with 10% of his power, let alone him in the ring in kill mode.
Exactly.
So please stop this narrative of early stoppage. Yeah. Don't agree at all.
The ref did a great job there.
He did. He did what he could do to save Curtis's life effectively. And I'm sure Curtis is grateful for it.
Yeah.
I mean, the best heavyweight in the world. I don't care. I know who your goal is and all the rest of it, but I'm sorry. John Jones is the best heavyweight in the world, bar none.
Stipe. I mean,
pardon? Oh
Aspinall,
gosh!
Aspinall.
See, I was putting myself in your brain.
Hey, no, I agree. Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the world right now. John Jones is still the GOAT, but John Jones has one fight at heavyweight. You can't call him the best heavyweight in the world.
That's the thing, and I think you've finally hit the nail on the head. You have to be able to separate GOAT to the best active fighter right now.
Of course.
And even pound for pound, I think it needs to be separated because John Jones, as much as he has done the unthinkable and he's the GOAT and all the rest of it, and I'm not going to talk about any other stuff, but you know what I'm like. I'm just going to keep it to the fighting today.
Let's get it.
He's only won one heavyweight fight, and that was against a Cyril Gane, who blatantly is ducking and has been ducking Tom Aspinall. Put it out there.
He has. But now what's the fight?
Get out
of here, man! It's like an ex. You know, it's like a bird you've been chasing. You want a piece of that? No, she doesn't want a piece of that. But then when you're up, when you got that, when you got that car, when you got that job, when you get the monies, then she said, "Hey, how you doing? Get out of my face, man! Get out of my face!" Oh. Yeah. And for me, in terms of talk about speed, I think Cyril Gane is probably the second fastest heavyweight that we've actually ever seen in the UFC.
I disagree.
Between him and Kane, I think it is, and I think he's faster than Kane.
Do you know who I think would be my second in terms of speed?
Who?
And then we're going back, not too far back, but when Orlovsky was champion. Everyone's forgetting. Orlovsky was quick, you know.
He was.
Orlovsky was quick. With the blonde tips and the fangs.
Yeah.
Go back to that Orlovsky era. I'm telling you, the guy was rapid. Just go back.
The guy was quick, but
no, just go back. I'm not saying quicker than Tom. I'm saying
quicker than Gane.
Yeah, 100% quicker than Gane.
No, I think Kane was quicker than
Kane was quick, but okay. Go back, watch the tape.
But yeah, comment down below what you think about that. That's 100%. Interesting one.
Next for Tom, is it just a case of waiting now? I don't want him to defend his interim again. I think once you defend it once, which I still think I'm against anyway.
Yeah.
In my head, you don't defend interim belts.
Yeah.
He's done it. But he wants to stay. I know what he's itchy. He wants to stay active.
This is the prime of his career. He needs to be active. But when you look around, who's he going to fight? I don't think there's anybody that separated themselves out as that number one contender. We need that John Jones Stipe fight.
Do we though?
We do, because they're holding up the division. It is holding up, and Dana's not going to do anything about that belt.
Will that fight still do numbers?
It's John Jones. It'll do numbers.
It's flipping Stipe. Yeah, how old is he now?
It's John Jones.
He's fought in 4 years, 40 plus. He's over 40 now.
It's true, but it's John Jones. John puts bums on seats. Talk about Paddy putting bums on seats. John puts.
So you don't think a Tom versus John unification match outsells John Jones versus Stipe?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Stipe and John does numbers. I think
Tom versus John does bigger numbers than Stipe.
100%.
Then why isn't Dana thinking like this?
Because he owes it to John Jones and he owes it to Stipe. John doesn't want it. John doesn't want to fight Tom.
Okay, glad you admitted that.
Now he doesn't, because it does nothing for his legacy. It does nothing for his career.
I don't. Again, that's And it's
all about
becoming more
legacy.
and more clear because now, as soon as that whole wall about the elbows, he's like, "Yo, Dana, are you going to clear that? Are you going to get that sorted so I have an O over is it Hammer years ago?"
And I think Dana said, "I've been trying to do
He
that.
said, "I've cared about it more than you have probably behind the
Exactly.
scenes." Oh,
It
it's
does
frustrating.
nothing. I'm sorry, it does nothing.
It's frustrating because I don't want to see Tom just wasting away because I can see, look at the shape he was in. Look at this. Like, you're weighing, like, no Diddy, but you're weighing 251 and you got abs and you're ripped and you're a heavyweight. I was like, geez Louise, what a specimen, no Diddy. What a specimen.
I was licking his lips when he saying that as well, you know. But yeah, he's something
like you
else.
said, he's in the prime, top of the world right now.
That's it.
He just wants to go again. Imagine, no damage as well.
No
damage. Gone in 60 seconds. Dude just wants to fight.
He just that's it.
Literally.
He wants to fight. And again, obviously Dana brushed off the talk about what's his name, Alex coming up.
Yeah.
But for numbers wise, if Jonathan Stipe doesn't happen and they both retire, you need to inject that heavyweight division with something. And I don't like this, and I will get into this later on. I don't like this. People talk about going up. Bilal's talking about going up. No, I'm sorry. People can't just go up and challenge.
Where's Belal going up to?
He's talking about he wants to beat Drickus. He said he thinks he could beat Drickus.
After you've just won, you haven't even defended your belt. You've just won it.
And again, it's probably obviously the journalists as well are asking the specific questions. He said he would never fight Islam.
We know exactly.
But Islam didn't say that he would never fight him. Islam
no, he said that we're brothers. I've seen.
Did he?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like, right, next one up is middleweight.
Mate, defend your title.
Yeah, there's so many options there. But
for me personally, I think the UFC should maybe even set a rule.
Yeah.
There's no double champ talk until 5 to 6 defenses.
Yeah. Easy.
Done.
Easy.
Because for me, looking at the champions now, 3 is like a magical number now.
It is.
If you get to 4, 5, then I'm like, do you know what? That's a clean out of the division because you would have cleaned out a segment of the division on your way up.
Yeah.
You clean out the rest while you've got the belt. So you've basically beaten everyone in the top 10, maybe lapped a couple because there's some high contenders up there. Then I get double champ. Yeah. For me, it should be 5 to 6 defenses successfully. Then we can talk.
Yeah. Unless you're a Connor, which, you know,
different rules.
We're never going to see another
different
Connor
rules.
again, in my opinion.
Then you can talk. But
there's just numbers like
2, 3, 0, get out of here.
Yeah, that's true.
Get out of here.
Okay, now Pereira, obviously, he's had two defenses now. He's had 2 defenses. Two defenses now. If John Jones and Stipe go, and you need to inject some life into heavyweight division.
That's the biggest name.
That's
the name.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I get it.
That's the thing.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
he's probably the only exception.
100%.
Him, in terms of exceptions to the rule, a Pereira, a Volk, and an Izzy can probably do what they kind of want in terms of because of what they've already given the company.
100%. Yeah,
and they're already Hall of Famers with legacy status.
Definitely.
A Max.
Oh, Max as well. Yeah, Max,
exactly.
Yeah. So
otherwise, get out of here. Defend. That's it.
It's true.
That's it.